ones in New Jersey, they're doing things that you can't really do yet.
Yes.
Yeah, which is really fascinating. Because it's like, okay.
And they're the size of SUVs.
Right. So is it ours? And we somehow or another have some stuff that the mainstream drone manufacturers at the highest level aren't aware of yet? Is it ours? Is it like some crazy military stuff? Because if it's not, and it's coming from the ocean, like, what do you mean it's coming? What the
50 of them.
What do you mean? What do you mean 50 suburban-sized
So check this out.
UFOs are coming out of the ocean? How many different cities are reporting it now? Like, what's the numbers?
It's exploding all over the place, and it's getting bigger. I've heard California. I've heard Europe now, bases in England, New York, New Jersey.
I've heard San Diego. I definitely wasn't there something in Ohio, right? Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. They had to shut that place down.
Yeah,
that's Ohio. So I've heard New Jersey. I think Florida, right? That was the one that Ryan Graves showed us a photo of. That was from Florida. So, like, who? What's going on? Who fucking knows?
The average drone, like I fly drones for my films, is like, you're lucky to get 25 minutes. These things are there for hours.
Yeah, 5 hours at a time.
They go dark when they're approached by other objects. They're not getting picked up on FLIR at times. And then some of them have no noise. I've heard crescent-shaped. And then I heard about the ones that really got me, because I contacted Christopher Mellon. I was like, Chris, what is going on, buddy? I really rely on him for good information. And he's like, I really don't know, man. It's a real show. And the U.S. government seems to be clueless right now. He goes, some of them are conventional. Some of them are misidentified conventional craft. But there are other ones coming in off the ocean that are up to 50. The Coast Guard and Police Department are reporting that truly remain a mystery.
When did it start?
Couple weeks ago, maybe
maybe
a month ago. That's when I started really hearing about it. But
Jamie, is there like any sort of official answer to that?
I have something that
20th, 19th, something like that.
Is
mid-November.
Mid-November. If you're flying it out of the ocean, logistically, you would have to have some sort of a large craft out there that's going to house these things, or it's going to launch from. Right?
Yeah.
If it is actually coming from the ocean.
Oh, you see, the drones you're talking about right now.
Right.
Yes.
So either they're ours, and if they are ours, how do they hide the fact that there's a battleship out there? Is that possible? And if it's from a submarine, how do they develop a submarine that can launch 50 car-sized or SUV-sized drones from?
Yeah, that's one of the things that Christopher Mellon said to me this morning. He goes, that's the one element or aspect that really is a head-scratcher.
But this is the question.
50 of these things coming in off the ocean. That's just confirmed.
Right.
No one's denying that.
But here's the question.
Yes.
Is it possible to classify the location of a U.S. battleship that's capable of having these things?
So big. How could you
How big would it have to be to launch 50 drones?
God, you're talking, I don't know, man. But that's
the question,
lot of drones, especially the size they're reporting. They're talking about drones the size of an SUV.
Right. So let's
super long loiter time.
Let's imagine you. So when you take a ferry, how many cars can a ferry fit on it?
I take a ferry all the time in Vermont,
like
over
a big
to New York.
One, like a legit one, like a 50. European ferry. 50 cars?
The one that's medium legit, I put 25, 30, maybe 40, 25 to 40. Yeah.
So
more than you think.
Couldn't you do that with drones? And couldn't you have something that's a little larger than the average ferry? So you wouldn't need a battleship.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that over residential areas? Why would they have everybody scratching their heads? All these press conferences. You're talking about the head of the gang of 8, right?
But if they need to control those guys,
you're not going to tell
if they are really looking for a nuke. Okay, let's imagine that this story about a Ukrainian nuke from the time when they disarmed them. There's one that's unaccounted for. This is one of the stories that's been on the internet. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah,
that it's unaccounted for, and that they think it's headed to the United States. If you were trying to find that thing,
like a dirty bomb,
or like just a regular nuke. That if you're looking for gamma rays, you could devise a drone that could search for that, and you'd fly it over an area, and you wouldn't care whether people freaked out, because it's more important to find this goddamn thing, right? So if you have this technology, it's some skunk works technology.
You can't do it from space?
No, I don't think so. I think you have to be there.
Certain proximity within
I think
to pick up whatever. Did you bring this up with Ryan Graves?
Yes.
What did he say?
I mean, he doesn't know either.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't think so.
Everybody
He
that I
doesn't
trust,
think that's the issue.
people in the FBI, people that I communicate with often, I'm like, what is going on?
It almost seems too sexy that the United States has that kind of ability and they're just flying these things around and that they're doing it for that specific reason to find a nuke. It's like that we have this kind of technology that none of us are aware of, that we have these drones that can shut off when you come close to them. The lights shut off, they disappear. They
go dark.
Avoid tracking. The RF signal doesn't show up. They're cool. They have some sort of cooling mechanism in them, so it's difficult to see with infrared. I don't understand any of that. He was saying that's above what we can do right now.
And
he's saying but they're not moving in a way necessarily that's not possible with drone technology that is mainstream, but there's some aspects of the way they move and what they're doing that doesn't lead them to believe that this is current state-of-the-art technology as far as we know it.
Yeah, they even I had some people tell me, like, even if it's conventional, it's highly advanced conventional.
Right, but let's look at China. Like, China has highly advanced drones.
Yeah.
We were talking about this as well, that the bottleneck in America was the FAA. The FAA put a lot of restrictions on the manufacture of drones and how you can do them, what you can do. China doesn't have any of that, so they're full steam ahead with innovation. If you look at what drone manufacturers in the United States have been able to do, and then imagine untethered, if they weren't over by all these regulations that got in the way of innovation. Obviously you have to have one, because if you have some commercial drone that someone can buy that can move 500 miles an hour and fly through the air and stay up there for 6 hours at a time and film video of everything and anything, well, and you can't control it, you can't block the radar screen, you can't find it with infrared, that's pretty nuts. So I would imagine that would not be a thing that they would want in the hands of the average American person.
But why did it just start happening fairly recently? When I say this,
well, I'm saying if it's Chinese, if it's Chinese, if they're unburdened by our regulations, and that not only do they have the help of the government, they have financing behind them, they have an imperative. They're told what to do.
But they're flying it over Langley. They're flying it over.
Wouldn't you do that? Just with these people?
What's the golf course that Trump has?
His golf course. Yeah.
What's that called?
I don't know.
Westminster, Bedminster, or something like that. They're flying over that.
Yeah.
The president-elect.